The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control Britain's money supply. That statement, attributed to Nathan Rothschild, captures a truth that reshaped global history. The Rothschild family did not merely participate in financial markets. They influenced how markets were structured, how financial policy was formed, and how entire nations operated. At the height of their power, few political leaders were willing to make major decisions without considering their interests. Many people recognize the Rothschilds as a wealthy banking dynasty. Fewer grasped the scale of their historical significance. Nathan Rothschild himself once remarked that he cared little who occupied the throne of England. Power, he understood early on, did not flow from crowns or parliaments alone. It flowed from money. Politicians and monarchs mattered less than they believed. Nathan was only one of 5 brothers, each leading a Rothschild branch embedded deeply within the financial systems of Europe's major powers. From helping shape the outcome of the Napoleonic Wars to financing the infrastructure of the Industrial Revolution, the Rothschilds became one of the most powerful families in recorded history. Their story begins not with empire, but with poverty. Meyer Amschel Rothschild was born in 1744 in Frankfurt's Judengasse, a narrow, overcrowded street that functioned as both a home and a boundary. More than 3,000 Jewish residents lived confined within its walls, navigating daily life under constant restriction. Jews were barred from public spaces, forbidden from leaving the quarter at night or on Christian holidays, and limited even in basic social interaction. Groups larger than 2 were prohibited. Life was a continuous negotiation between survival and dignity. Meyer was originally expected to become a rabbi following family tradition, but the early death of his parents altered his path entirely. Forced to abandon religious studies, he became an apprentice in a banking house. There he was introduced to finance, particularly the trade in rare coins from ancient civilizations such as Rome, Persia, and Byzantium. European elites prized these artifacts, and Meyer recognized their value early. His work sorting coins acquired at Frankfurt's semi-annual trade fairs exposed him to regional and international commerce. By the age of 19, he had accumulated experience well beyond his years. He returned to Frankfurt to join his father's trading business and soon became a successful dealer in rare coins. His reputation reached Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, who appointed Meyer as a court factor, a Jewish financier serving a noble household. This appointment was transformative. It offered both protection and access. Meyer had escaped the confines of the Judengasse and laid the foundation of what would become a financial dynasty. As his wealth grew, Meyer developed a strategy that would define the Rothschild legacy. He sent his sons to establish banking operations across Europe, instructing them to do 2 things: cultivate relationships with ruling houses and expand the family line. This was not mere ambition. It was risk management. By dispersing his sons across the continent, Meyer diversified political and economic exposure. No single ruler could destroy the family. No single crisis could wipe them out. This was portfolio diversification before the term existed. By aligning with monarchies and governments, the Rothschilds secured both elite clients and political protection. By the early 19th century, the 5 Rothschild sons had established branches in Frankfurt, London, Paris, Vienna, and Naples. Together, these interconnected offices formed the first truly transnational banking network. Acting as financiers to multiple European powers, the Rothschilds maintained a position of strategic neutrality and extraordinary leverage. Their services expanded rapidly. What began as trading in luxury goods and commercial paper evolved into full-scale banking. Wars, in particular, proved profitable. The French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars created unprecedented demand for financing, logistics, and international payments. The Rothschilds financed princes, facilitated trade in essential goods, and moved capital across borders despite blockades. They funded both sides of the conflict. In Paris, James Rothschild supported Napoleon's regime. In London, Nathan Rothschild financed the British war effort under the Duke of Wellington. As the war progressed, the family recognized that British victory aligned more closely with their financial interests. Funding shifted accordingly. Nathan also used wartime volatility to his advantage, purchasing British government bonds at deep discounts during market panics caused by Napoleon's early victories. Through a private courier network faster than any state system, Nathan learned of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo a full day before the British government. When the news became public, he sold his bonds at massive profit. This success, however, triggered backlash. Napoleon had granted Jews civil rights across much of Europe. For a prominent Jewish family to support his enemies was viewed by many as betrayal. Intellectual circles increasingly associated the Rothschilds with capitalism, transnational power, and inequality. As industrialization accelerated, the family became a symbol, and later a scapegoat, for anxieties about modern finance. Anti-Semitic narratives grew alongside nationalist movements. The Rothschilds became an easy target for resentment directed at forces larger than any individual. Yet their financial ascent continued. They shifted into government securities, insurance, industrial shares, railways, coal, iron, and metallurgy, financing Europe's industrial transformation. Mayer's foresight extended to succession. His will restricted inheritance to male descendants, encouraging intermarriage to preserve control. Between 1824 and 1877, the majority of Rothschild marriages occurred within the family. Equally important was their asset strategy. The Rothschilds avoided tying wealth to land or physical gold. Instead, they held liquid assets, stocks, bonds, debts, difficult to seize during political upheaval. When violence erupted, there was little to destroy. Nathan Rothschild became the most successful of his generation. He secured control over Spanish mercury mines, granting near-global monopoly over a critical resource used in refining precious metals. He also obtained rights to refine gold and silver for the Bank of England and the Royal Mint. The family reinvested continuously. They became major shareholders in enterprises such as Rio Tinto and Royal Dutch Shell. Their influence expanded beyond finance into culture, science, and philanthropy. They funded libraries, hospitals, orphanages, museums, and scientific expeditions. Their collections enriched institutions across Europe. Governments relied on them. After France's defeat in 1871, the Rothschilds provided massive loans to stabilize the state. In Britain, they enabled the purchase of shares in the Suez Canal Company, transforming imperial trade routes. Their financing helped fuel colonial expansion and industrial consolidation. They also supported American industrialists, including John D. Rockefeller. Through banking networks and advisors such as Jacob Schiff, the Rothschilds indirectly facilitated the rise of Standard Oil by enabling financing strategies and railroad rebates that crushed competitors. The family's influence extended into political developments surrounding the creation of Israel. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 was addressed to Lionel Walter Rothschild, reflecting the family's symbolic role within the British Jewish community. The Rothschilds had funded Jewish settlement initiatives for decades prior. Philanthropy remained central to their identity. In Frankfurt alone, they managed dozens of charitable foundations. Honors followed. Members entered parliaments, aristocracies, and scientific societies. But decline came as swiftly as ascent. Political upheaval dismantled branches one by one. The Naples Bank closed after Italian unification. Frankfurt's branch ended due to lack of male heirs. The Vienna branch collapsed under Nazi persecution. Assets were seized. Family members were imprisoned or forced into exile. In France, post-war nationalization ended Rothschild banking in Paris. Only London endured. In 2008, the family reunified holdings under a single structure for the first time in 2 centuries. Today, Rothschild interests span finance, real estate, energy, mining, agriculture, and philanthropy. One of Nathan's original banks still operates, reporting billions in revenue and over $100 billion in assets under management. Despite wars, revolutions, confiscations, and exile, the Rothschilds remain among the world's wealthiest families. Their legacy is complex. Admired by some, vilified by others, they shaped history in ways few families ever have. Their rise reminds us how contingency alters destiny. Had Mayer Rothschild's parents not died young, had he become a rabbi as intended, Europe's financial and political history might look very different. Whether celebrated or criticized, the Rothschilds changed the world, not with armies, but with capital. If you stayed until the end, leave an upside-down smile in the comments. And if you want deeper explorations into the origins of financial power, subscribe to Financial History, where the hidden architecture of history comes into focus.